Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tradesman Experience. This is the podcast built by tradesmen for tradesmen, where we discuss business, culture, leadership, and the mindset it takes to build a business and life you're proud of. My name is Josh. Let's get into it and let's get shit done. What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Thank you for being here. Today is one of those podcast episodes where I discuss or express or share something that has been weighing on my mind or something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. And discipline is something that I talk about a lot, or at least mention it a lot. I don't think I talk about it, but it's something that I mention constantly and consistently. So I want to go over 12 disciplines that you can implement in 12 days that will completely change the way that you operate. Right now, I'm going to be transparent with you. A lot of these I do. A lot of these I've done for a while. And as I was making this list, I realized that there's still a few on here that I have work to do. So I'm not perfect at these. But these are goals or targets or habits that I want to share with you that I know have worked really well for me. And the other reason I'm doing this is I've gotten the question before, how do you get so much done? And as I tell everyone every time they ask me that question, I don't have children. Okay. Now I know I'm at that age where if I did have kids, they would probably be grown, but I don't have kids. I don't have any kids. So I don't have the responsibility of parenthood. So I just want to lead with that. So my lens is very narrow in the sense of accommodating parenthood. So I just want to share that. I want you to know that I understand that. And I also want you to know that I understand the autonomy that that gives me in being able to control and manage my schedule. The other thing that I want to discuss before we dive into those things is what discipline is. Now, I'm not going to give you a perfect black and white answer because I think that often it's interpreted in many different ways from many different people. A lot of people are conduits for discipline. If you've listened to this podcast any amount of time or know me at all, you know that my lens of discipline really falls in line with what Jocko talks about. Discipline equals freedom. But just the fact of doing the thing that you need to do, even when you don't feel like it. And that is a struggle. That is a struggle for me. When there are days that I'm just a complete bag of ass, I don't feel like doing it. And those are the days that I do what I have to do. I don't always go above and beyond or past the line into more, but I do the things that I have to do. But you probably have somebody that you know or follow or listen to, or someone that has influenced you, and you can kind of get a sense that they're a disciplined individual. Discipline shows up in behavior. All right, this is something that you see. You don't see discipline per se, but you see the acts of discipline. You see the behaviors of discipline. And what I think the most misunderstood piece of discipline is that everybody thinks that it's this one big thing, that I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to be disciplined. I am now disciplined. I'll discipline myself. I'll discipline my emotions. I'll discipline the way I communicate. I'll discipline my actions. Look, even that was 4 things in that example, because discipline is not just one big thing that you do. It's a million small things that you do that make you who you are. Now, whether you know it or not, you have some level of discipline implemented into your life. If you get up every day and you get dressed and you go to work and you're there on time, that is a discipline. Discipline requires systems. And this is always one of my fun debates, because I know that there are some that think that I treat my personal life too much like a business. Well, I'm maniacal about efficiency and I love systems. I love structure. I love implementing and developing systems and structure. And I like to collect data on that. And then I like to critique it and make it better and make it more efficient and continue to move the needle further and faster. But no matter what you think, you already have some level of discipline in your life. You just need to figure out how to unlock that and make it better, move you faster, move you forward, make you better. So I'm going to share with you 12 disciplines that I know that you can do in 12 days. Now, for those of you that are true GSDMF level, you can do this overnight. Some of you can write these down or go through these. I'll put them in the show notes. You can look at these and you can go, yeah, that starts right now. That starts today. And you can bust all of these out in one day. Some of you are going to need a little more time, and there's no right or wrong answer. Okay. I need you to introduce this in a way that challenges you, not introduce this in a way that is comfortable. Fuck your comfort. Okay. This is supposed to rattle your cage a little bit, and there's small disciplines. There's nothing on the list that I'm going to share with you today that you can't do, that you can't physically do. Okay. So let's dive into it. Now, these are not in any order except the first two. And the reason the first two are number one and number two, because I think they have probably had the biggest impact on my efficiency. And so that's why I think they're so important. Number one, lay out your clothes for tomorrow. Now, that is a discipline that I have done for 20 years or more, is lay my clothes out for tomorrow. The amount of time that people spend and waste in the mornings trying to find their clothes or figure out what they're going to wear, or I don't even understand it. It doesn't even make sense to me. Who wastes that amount of time? Figure out what you're going to wear before you go to bed tonight and lay it out, hang it up, get it ready, wherever you get dressed, put it in there. All of it. Because you are immediately going to stop wasting brain power first thing in the morning on I don't want to call it irrelevant decisions, because if you don't get dressed, you're going to get arrested. Let's just be honest. But you don't need to be wasting bandwidth on such insignificant decisions. Prep the coffee the night before is another example. It's not on my list, but as I'm thinking about it, because some of it it'll be relevant later, but lay your clothes out. That is the number one discipline that I'm going to encourage and challenge you to do starting today. When you listen to this tonight, lay your clothes out. Stop digging through hampers. Stop digging through the dryer. Stop asking your significant other, hey, have you seen my work pants? Get the fuck out of here. Okay? Take ownership of it. Lay your clothes out the night before. Stop wasting bandwidth on that. You'll be better off. Number two, plan your meal for the week. Plan, not prep. Okay. When I wrote this, this was the one of them that I kind of went back and forth on, because I do believe in meal prep. But I think what sets you up for meal prep is meal planning. Now, this is something that we do. So I'm going to walk you through how we do it. Sundays are our get everything done shit day, right? It's like get all the shit done. Everything that we need to do to set us up for the week, we do it on Sunday. So we get up in the morning, depending on the gym schedule for that week. We go to the gym that morning. If we don't have to do more workouts, we don't go to the gym that morning. Okay. But we go to the cafe. We have coffee. We eat breakfast. We hang out. And then after we're done eating, we get our phones out. Not during, not before. After we're done eating, we get our phones out. Then we talk about what do we want to eat for the week. And we plan a dinner menu for each night of the week. Now, that dinner menu will be determined by if I'm gone that week or how many days I'm gone that week or if I'm home all week. It's going to be impacted by Katie's schedule and what time she gets home, what her schedule looks like. Does she have a work event? But in that time, we get to plan the week and we get to plan around our schedules and we get to plan accordingly. So we meal plan our dinners. Okay. Now, the meal prep we do for lunch, and Katie she's way better. I mean, literally every day her lunch is meal prepped. Mine varies because of travel and work and whatnot. But don't focus on the meal prep, focus on the meal plan. Now, here's why this is number 2 for me. I think similar to wasting brain power on trying to find your clothes the morning that you're getting ready, this is a conversation that is such a pet peeve of mine and a complete fucking waste of time. Let's say I get off work and I text Katie and I say, hey, babe, what do you want to do for dinner tonight? This is the end of the day, or I'm getting close to being done or whatever. And I say, hey, what do you want to do for dinner tonight? Or she texts me and says, what do I want to do for dinner tonight? Maybe she'll text me back and say, ooh, tacos sound good tonight. Ooh, I love me some tacos. Okay. And then I'll say, okay, good. Do we have everything we need to make tacos? And she might text me back. We definitely have the ground beef. I just don't know if the salsa that we have is any good or if we have any tortillas left. Okay. All right. I'm going to be working late tonight. Can you run by the grocery store and pick up the stuff for dinner? And she would say, yep, absolutely. That happens every fucking day for most people. That conversation. Every day is like 50 first dates for what you're going to have for dinner. And then somebody's going to have to run to the grocery store or have, groceries delivered or however you get your food. And it's wasting brain power. It's wasting time. It's massively inefficient. And then it puts stress on somebody because somebody has to go gather the things to make dinner. I think that is one of the stupidest conversations that you could have on a daily basis. Plan your week. If you like tacos, then have Taco Tuesday at home. That way, Sunday, you can buy the groceries that you need for Taco Tuesday at home. We often do, not so often, I'm just going to tell you, we do a pasta night once a week, at least once a week. I love pasta. So we always have a pasta night. We almost always have a taco bowl night. And then we just meal plan at breakfast on Sunday. And then we put it on the grocery list with everything else that we already have on there. I'm going to tell you a neat trick here in just a second. And then we go grocery shopping together. Now, this is, again, we don't have kids. Okay? We don't have kids. But I'm going to tell you, if you have kids and you guys, and there's 2 adults that live in a house, one adult needs to watch the kids while the other one goes grocery shopping. Okay? I see parents, and if you don't have that option, look, I get it. I'm not berating you for it. I'm just telling you that I think if you're going to plan like this, you need to work together as a team to set yourself up for success. And to do that, you have to work as a team. So one person grocery shops, the other one can take care of the kids for an hour or whatever it takes to go grocery shopping. By the way, when you go grocery shopping, especially if you go on the weekend, get the fuck up and go early. If you're one of these 10 a.m. grocery shoppers, 11 a.m. grocery shoppers, we'll do it after church grocery shopper, you are miserable by the time you get home because the herd is out. Okay. The herd of people are out. All the stupid drivers are out. You need to be up, out, and back before they even realize that there's a world that still exists. So get up and get it done. But plan for the week. Okay. Give it a shot. Write it down. What are the things you like? Now, here's the trick that I want to share with you is because Katie and I both have an iPhone, we have a shared notes in the Notes app. If you've never used the Notes app, get on the Notes app, share it with your significant other. And we have a running grocery list in the Notes app, and it has little check boxes by it. And on Sundays, when we sit down and have breakfast, we uncheck the things that we need for that week. Now, we brief the kitchen real quick on Sundays, Saturdays or Sundays, and of like, oh, we need this and whatnot. And even sometimes during the week, you there's things that you don't buy every week. Just today, I was like, oh, we've got to buy. We use avocado oil. We're out of avocado oil. I used the last bit of it, the last drop making breakfast this morning, and we need it. Okay, so we can get on there, run down to which store, Aldi, whatever, and we unclick avocado oil. And now it's on the list. We know we got to get it. It's so easy. It's so easy. Is it perfect? No. Is it 99% perfect? Yes. Because we both use it consistently. So I've spent 8 minutes on this one particular because laying out your clothes takes a few minutes. This takes a few minutes of planning, a little bit longer of implementation, but it literally sets you up for the entire week. So this is something that I really, really, really encourage you to do is meal plan your week. All right. Number, whatever. I don't even care about the numbers on the next one. All right. Next, get up 30 minutes earlier. This was something that I was so against in the beginning. My default, and by default, I mean the habit that I lived out for decades, was I would get out of bed the exact amount of minutes that I needed to get up, get ready, and get out the door. And I would leave. I would stop by, whatever grocery or convenience stores close to you, Casey's, Mach 1, QT, Buc-ee's, pick your point, I don't care. And I would grab breakfast every morning on my way to work. Now, I can't do it anymore, but for almost 23 years, I drank a quart of chocolate milk for breakfast. Every workday and a lot of Saturdays, I would drink a quart of chocolate milk for breakfast on my drive into work. And that was my routine. That was my habit. That was how I got my day started. I got up with X number of minutes. And luckily back then, I even laid out my clothes, so I didn't have to hunt for clothes. But I would get up, get dressed, do all the things, brush your teeth. I didn't put that on here because you should be fucking smart enough to brush your teeth and leave. And that was my routine. And then through, learning and listening about discipline, again, I referenced Jocko earlier. It was like, get up before the enemy, get up. And why I think this is so, I want to say difficult or perceived as difficult in the skilled trades is because we get up early anyway. I mean, some of us, I say some of us, I don't start work at 6 a.m., but I've got friends that do, so somewhere between 5 and 7:30, we start our day. We're on the job site, we're at the shop, whatever it is, we start our day somewhere in that span. So we already have to get up early. Why am I telling you to get up 30 minutes earlier? Because if you lay your clothes out the night before, if you prep the coffee the night before, and you get up 30 minutes earlier, you're going to gain another 45 minutes to an hour to start your day so you can have control. So you're not put in a rushed reactive state. And trust me, I did this, especially in my 20s. You think I was disciplined enough in my 20s to get up and be at work 10 minutes early? No, I was not. I was not the best student or the best employee in my 20s. It was like it was down to the wire, and God forbid you come up on a car wreck or traffic jam or a train or get behind the school bus in rural Southern Illinois. The school buses and trains could ruin your whole fucking morning. So you had to learn those routines. But getting up 30 minutes earlier will put you in such a better mental state when you get to work. All right. And so that's it. I'm not going to elaborate on that. If you can't get up 30 minutes earlier, you probably need to pay attention to what time you're going to bed. And if you already have this bullshit excuse that, well, the last hour of the day before I go to bed is, that's kind of like my time, and I, game or doom scroll or watch Netflix, or, I do that before I go to bed. Listen, this is a trade-off that is worth its weight in gold, I promise you. Now, Katie and I, we do watch TV before we go to bed every night. We watch Bob's Burgers every night. We watched Archer every night, which I think is the funniest fucking show ever made. I've been through every every season multiple times, and I think I laugh harder every time I see it. But we watch Bob's Burgers. Now, if anybody that doesn't know, literally Bob and Archer are the same voice guy, and they have the same voice. It's was it H. John Benjamin, I think's his name. Anyway, I digress. My point is, we do crash out at the end of the day to a little bit of television. We're lucky to get through 2 episodes, and they're like 18-minute episodes. We're lucky to get through it, and then we're out. Okay. That trade-off of staying up late versus getting up early was one of the best trade-offs that I ever made. I am so much more productive in the first half of my day. And here's the other reason. Nobody wants to deal with your grouchy, sleepy ass for the first 2 or 3 hours of the day. Oh, don't go around Josh. It's before 10 a.m. and he hasn't had 7 pots of coffee. Fuck Josh. Son of a bitch needs to get up earlier so he stops putting all of his bullshit on us. Get up earlier. Be a good human. Make your own coffee. Stop spending $7 a morning or $8, $10 a day on breakfast at whatever bullshit drive up, drive through, walk in that you are doing. Get up, make breakfast, make your own coffee, take a shit. Right? Everybody's like, oh, I'm going to wait till I do it at work so I get paid. Cool. Get your shit together, right? Getting up 30 minutes earlier, laying out your clothes, doing these things, you'll gain 45 minutes to an hour, and your day will be so much better. All right. I got to mark these. Because I'm skipping around a little bit. All right. We talked about laying out your clothes. We talked about meal plans. We talked about getting up earlier. All right. So let's, to coattail on getting up earlier. Now this is a discipline that I introduced recently. And this was because my distractive work brain would take over first thing in the morning. Stop checking email and social media before you get out of bed. Now, we are morning workout people. Katie, much more than I. But when my alarm would go off, which my alarm goes off at 4 a.m., so I can go to the gym, I would just lay there, start to bargain with myself. And since I was bargaining with myself, I would distract myself by grabbing my phone, looking at email, looking at social media, reading comments or messages or whatever. And then I was never in the mood to work out. So this is a discipline that I started recently. I don't check my phone until after I get home from the gym. I don't look at emails. I don't look at social media. I don't give a shit because that time in the morning for me mentally, I try to pour myself into the workout. The 60 minutes or whatever I'm going to spend at the gym that morning, I just focus on what I'm going to do at the gym that morning. So stop checking your email, stop checking your phone, stop checking your social media for the first 30 minutes that you're up. That is the discipline that I'm encouraging you to do. Don't grab your phone for the first 30 minutes. All right, I talked about the gym. You need to move your body. Now, this is more of a broad, wide, generic discipline because I'm not going to tell you that one workout is better than the other. I'm not going to tell you that you need to do this thing. I think you need to do something, whatever it is. If you get up in the morning and you do a 20-minute walk, doesn't even have to be a power walk. After the first week, I'm going to encourage you to carry a dumbbell or get a weighted vest or, pick up the pace a little bit to add some challenge and some resistance to it. But you need to do something. And again, I used to use the same excuse because when I was in my 20s, I lived on, Mountain Dews and Snicker bars, and I've always been a skinny guy. Back then I was just a skinny kid. I could do whatever I wanted. Not so much in your 40s. So you've got to do something. Maybe it's the end of the day. Maybe when you get home, you take a 20-minute walk, or maybe after, the kids are asleep, you do a 20-minute workout in the garage or the basement. And there's like 3 or 4 things that you can do that require no workout equipment. I mean, I could program you a 20-minute workout right now where you'd puke your fucking guts out and you'd never touch a weight. My point is you need to do something that fuels you, something that challenges you. So I don't care if it's CrossFit. I don't care if it's weightlifting. I don't care if it's plyometrics. I don't care if it's aerobics. I don't care what it is. You just need to do something to elevate your heart rate and move your body for 20 minutes. Now, so what I was going to say earlier is the excuse I always used to use was, well, I work all day, I do physical labor all day. I don't need to go to the gym. Oh man, if I had my 25-year-old self in here, I would try everything to convince him to go to the gym, to focus on strength training. For me, that, back if I could, again, if my 25-year-old self were sitting here, I would tell him to focus on strength training because I didn't start focusing on my physical health until I was in my late 30s because skinny is in shape, right? I grew up in the 90s, right? I grew up where for girls it was low-rise jeans and thigh gap and the thin guys looked good in their clothes and so that was my bullshit programming. Now I just want to be a fucking beast. Like I want to feel good, I want to feel strong, I want to feel confident. So I know what works for me. But move your fucking body. Yes, I remember this joke we made years ago. Buy a fucking Bowflex. Okay? Buy a Bowflex, put it in the garage and get after it for 20 minutes. Get after it for 30 minutes. And just do that. Do that consistently. you'll start to fall in love with it because you'll start to see results. And it's amazing that when you pair meal planning and exercise together, you will figure out real quick how much one fuels the other. So focus on moving your body. There are days that I go into the gym and I only stretch, and I should do that at least once a week or twice a week. It's not that consistent for me yet. Because it's easier just to lift weights or do anything else but stretch. But man, I start to feel it. I'm like, I need to stretch. I need to get in the sauna. I need to cold plunge. I need to stretch. I need to do those things because it's going to make me better. So move your body. All right. Next, preparation. Similar to laying your clothes out, you need to have your work stuff together. When I was an employee, not in my 20s, I was not a good employee in my 20s, but as I matured, I would clean my work truck out every Sunday. Unless I was running call or it was pouring down rain, like I would clean my work truck every Sunday. But organizing your workspace, maybe it's your desk, maybe it's your truck, maybe it's your shop, it's your tools, your tool bag, whatever it is. If you just spent a few minutes doing that, the amount of mental space that you're going to free up is really hard to quantify. And here's why. When you work in chaos, when you work in clutter, when you work in disorganization, your brain starts to work the same way. The background noise in your brain is so easily affected and influenced by your surroundings. So you need to organize your workspace. You need to keep your car clean. You need to organize your tools. You need to do whatever that is. And when you do that daily, it takes minutes. Okay. It's to a point now where for example, if I have to get in one of our service trucks, and our guys do a really good job of, keeping their trucks organized, but I will grab a rag and wipe down the dash or grab the glass cleaner and clean the windows. Like for me, that little bit of extra organization, that little extra inch of cleanliness fuels me to perform. Now, if you were here in my office, this would make complete sense to you because this place looks like this every day. Because if something it's probably borderline OCD, if I'm being honest. But if something is out or disorganized for too long, it frustrates me and I have to stop what I'm doing. I have to fix that problem and then I can come back to doing what I need to do. Well, that disrupts my workflow. That distracts me from what I need to do. So if I just handle it daily in a few minutes, and every time I come in here, it's good. My headspace is good. My workspace is good. I flip on my lights. I don't use a lot of the overhead lights if I can. So I've got under cabinet lights and back lights and the desk light here. And if you're watching this and you see this shelf behind me, this whole office is full of Easter eggs, right? Everything on this shelf means something. Everything in this office to me it means something to me. It doesn't mean anything to anybody else, but it's something specific or relative to something in my life or somebody that I know. And for me, it creates this space. I've got the Live, Laugh, Love Claymore on the shelf behind me, right? I've got the big twisted walking stick. I've got the American flag Punisher skull. These are all things that are important to me in my space, but it requires constant organization and cleanliness. Otherwise, it loses its importance and its influence on me, loses its impact. Now, I'm going a little bit in the weeds here, but I also like to reorganize things. I like to move furniture. I like to change up the space a little bit. When I would back to the work truck on Sundays, like I would literally pull all of my tools and my toolboxes out of the truck, vacuum, clean, make sure all the tools were back in the toolboxes that they needed to be in, and I'd put them back in there in a way that was most efficient for me to access. My work trailer, my big construction trailer, was the exact same way. Like that thing was built literally inside to the inch of shelving and framing and totes to be efficient. So at the end of the day or the week, I could spend 60 minutes and it was 100% ready to go. Or if I spent 10 to 15 minutes each day, it was 100% ready to go. So you need to prep your gear. Okay, talking about prepping gear and getting your place. One of the things I think is a really, really good discipline, and this is something that I'm currently trying to implement. Told you guys I don't do all of these yet, but I do a lot of these, or I implementing or focusing. This is one that I'm really trying to work on. This one and the next one I'm going to use here is um, planning. Plan tomorrow, like at the end of today, plan out tomorrow, or review the plan tomorrow, or plan the first hour. And that's something that I'm really trying to focus on doing, so I jumpstart my day. But jumpstart my day in a way that's proactive, not reactive. And a lot of us, we get up, we go to work, and we react to whatever's thrown at us. It's like, well, I don't plan my day because it always changes. Okay, but still plan your day. Plan your day so you can start attacking something and be productive and get yourself in that headspace before you have to react to things. I think this is something that I'm really trying to work on, and I try to organize tasks to the first part of my day that I know I can get through. It also gives me like a dopamine rush, right? You get to go through the checklist and you're like, got that done, got that done, got that done, or I got the one thing done. And you can start your day off or start your first hour off by accomplishing that thing. For the foremans out there, this was something that we learned over time with working foreman roles and working superintendent, working project manager, working whatever the title. I don't give a shit about the title, but the positions that have multiple responsibilities, and that's why I say working foreman. The first hour, this was something that we implemented. The first hour and the last hour of the day need to be spent on the foreman role responsibilities, whether that's logistics, material, staging, manpower, calling clients, whatever it is, I don't care. The first hour of the day, you take care of that, and then you do the working part of the working foreman. And then the last hour of the day, you review, you follow up with your crew, you talk to whoever you need to talk to on the job site, you communicate with the client, you communicate with maybe the office or the shop, especially if you need material. You can get that ordered today, so it can either be will call first thing in the morning or delivered. But those two 60-minute blocks changed everything about how the day went. But it was part of a structure, it was part of a system, it was part of a plan. And again, I know as working foremans or superintendents, project managers, and so on, you're going to have to deal with stuff throughout the day. But I'm going to challenge you to funnel as many things as you can into those 1 hour blocks instead of forcing yourself to be reactive to everything that happens immediately. There's fires you're going to have to put out, but there's going to be things that you can put, I'll deal with that at the end of the day. Good. Move it to the end of the day and then handle it. Keep doing what you're doing. Next is time block. This is Greg and I started implementing this a few months ago and completely reframed how we do meetings. My meeting day is Wednesday. We with the multiple businesses that Greg and I are partners in and involved in, we had to build a structure because we both recognized we were being pulled in too many different directions, too many different times of the week. So we sat down with our teams and built out a time block for Wednesdays. So 9 a.m. Central, and this is my schedule. Greg starts at like 6:30 his time that morning, but the first time block meeting for me is 9 a.m. And we go through this very specific thing, and then this thing, and then this thing, and then once that's done, Greg and I meet, and then we go through our things, and then by that time it's close to lunch, so we take lunch and we come back, and there's like an hour or so where we do the things that we haven't been able to do that day because of the meeting, so we handle the things, and then we do a podcast, and then we come out of the podcast right into the boot camp, and then out of the boot camp, and that's our day. We solved so much inefficiency problems from the entire week by blocking everything out on a specific day. Now we have marketing meetings on Fridays. We have a time block for that. It's a same time every week, same people involved every week. But the time blocking was something that it was one of those things I knew about, and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to work. Oh man, I don't know how we did it without it. We didn't do it well. I can tell you that. Now, if you're a single owner operator, which I know a lot of you are, the time blocking can be used multiple ways. It can be used for meetings. It can be used for sales calls. I've got guys I've worked with where they'll take one day a week and they do nothing but sales calls that day, whether it's site visits or sales calls or whatever. They have an entire day planned for nothing but that. So the other 4 days they can do the work. And when the clients call, they do everything they can to funnel them into that day. And surprisingly to you, most clients are okay with it. Excuse me. But by doing that, it gives you the flexibility to pick up an emergency meeting if you need it, or to hammer on a project if you need it, or to stay late on a job site if you need it, just by having that day. Now, maybe you don't need a whole day. Maybe you just want to do like a half day or a couple half days. And that time block works for you. You know, we do all of our sales calls on Tuesday afternoon from noon to 4, and Thursdays from 8 to noon. Obviously, I'm being theoretical, but I'm only using it as an example here. But I will tell you that the time blocking is something that I would highly encourage you to do, even for work. Okay. If you're getting ready to work on a project, like physically hands-on work on a project, you need to silence your phone for maybe 2 hours. 2 hours. Most of you guys on here work 50, 60, 70-hour weeks. You can afford, trust me, your client's not going to die. The job is not going to go away. They'll be there. Set your voicemail up accordingly. But time block out to focus on working for a couple hours and focus on working for a couple hours. It's one of the reasons most of you don't get jobs done in the amount of time, because you allow literally everything to interfere. Phone calls from the wife, text from the girlfriend, notification from OnlyFans, social media, doom scrolling. Some of you motherfuckers watch YouTube for an hour during the day, or Netflix. Time block and focus on spending every minute in that block getting shit done. And then at the end of the 2 hours, when the alarm goes off, you can check your phone, check your messages, emails, calls, all the other bullshit. Check it then. Oh, goodness. Hang on, I got to count out loud here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So with the time blocking comes the next challenge here is task batching. I use the example of running sales calls all on one day or all on half a day. That's batching. right? If you've got to work on proposals, set a time block out and batch those similar tasks together. I think this was something else that I learned too, and it was a big piece of what restructured our Wednesdays was, along with not having scheduled time block meetings, we couldn't batch tasks together. Which is why, for example, at between 2 and 2:30 my time, we start the podcast so we get done before the boot camp, and then we jump into the boot camp. Why is that similar? Because we're in the same spot using the same equipment, talking about a lot of the same things. So we just put it back to back. And for me, it was so fluid to come out of a podcast right into the boot camp. Again, our meetings, the time blocking we do, we have an agenda and we go through the things, and it's all relative. But you need to batch. Okay? Because I don't want this to only be about business. This is why we do our Sundays the way that we do. Every Sunday morning, you know, with the occasional exception, is kind of time blocked the same, and everything is batched. Like when we get home from grocery shopping, we have a system of putting groceries away. We start laundry, we start cleaning. We each have, like, I clean the kitchen, she cleans the bathroom, we work together to clean the rest. And it's all similar tasks, and then we're all doing them at the same time. It's time blocking and task batching. It's so freaking efficient. It's crazy. So focus on task batching. All right. The cleanliness, I kind of went on a tangent earlier about keeping your environment clean and ready, but that's on my list. That's one of the things. It's like, if you only clean once a week, and maybe this is your house or your apartment or, the vehicle, the work truck, the workspace, whatever it is, if you only do it once a week, everything collects up into that time. Just spend a couple minutes in doing it. Instead of, and again, this is one of the disciplines that I work on, instead of leaving your coffee cup, Josh, in your truck because you literally don't feel like carrying it in, and you get in there tomorrow and then your coffee mug is in there, like, just carry it in. Just take it in. Like, it doesn't take any extra time to grab the coffee mug, but for some reason my brain is like, I'll get it later. I'll get it tomorrow. I'm coming back out here in a minute. I'll get it. And I start bargaining with myself. I'm like, you idiot. Just take it in. So, keeping your environment clean and ready. Next one. This was something I mentioned a couple weeks ago in a podcast. This is Saturday morning that I'm recording this. Is have a simple weekly reset. You need to have time and space to reset. My Saturday mornings in this office is so important to me because it's my time to reset. I feel so much better every time I leave this office on a Saturday and go home, because I feel like I was able to decompress the week. I know what's coming up next week. I've got to know because we talk about it on Sunday mornings. The podcast gets edited, some content gets created, whatever other stuff I need to work on, it all gets handled. It gets done. And it offers me some overflow. If there was something that I didn't get done during the week, I can finish it on Saturday. And it just takes the pressure off. But this is my weekly reset. Coming in here, playing some music, getting the lights up, working on this stuff is just my weekly reset. So you need to have time and space to reset. And for those of you that are crushing it 7 days a week, you need to be conscious of your workflow, because you will at some point hit the diminishing returns, and the which means the harder and longer you work, the less you get done, the less quality you have, the less standards you have, the less productivity you have. It takes you 4 hours to do a 1 hour job. It's not productive. It would be more productive to take 3 hours and have a reset after you worked an hour. So use that time and space as a simple reset and be conscious of it. And here's my last one. Now, before I dive into this, I want to brief these again, okay? Because these are 12 disciplines I think you can implement in 12 days. Lay your clothes out tomorrow, plan your day or the first hour of your day. Meal plan and grocery shop once a week. Get up 30 minutes earlier, make your coffee, eat your breakfast. Prep your work bag or truck or office space or workspace, whatever. Make time blocks for meetings. Stop checking your email and social media first thing for the first 30 minutes of the day. Batch similar tasks together. Move your body at least 20 minutes a day, even if that is just a walk. Just take a 20-minute walk. No phone, by the way. Stay off your fucking phone. Drives me nuts when I see people walking and their posture is all shit because they're looking at their phone that's sticking on their fucking gut. Use a simple weekly reset. Find your time and space. Keep your environment clean and ready. And the last one that I want to give you is date night. This is a discipline you absolutely need to do. You need to have a date night. If it's not weekly, make it bi-weekly. If it's not bi-weekly, make it monthly, at least once a month. Okay? Those of you that are business owners that are listening, if your spouse is not in the business, by proxy, they're in the business. They are impacted and affected and influenced by your business every day because of the hours that you're gone and the hours that you work and the mood swings that you have and the insecurities that you're hiding and the inconsistencies that you deal with. Your spouse deals with it. I know this because I've been doing this a long time and I've affected and fucked up a lot of relationships in my life. And I really, really, really try to not ruin this one. I really like my relationship and I really want to keep it. So through multiple conversations that we've had, this is something that we've come up with. Now there's something a little different here. So we have now implemented that once a month, we go to one of our favorite restaurants. It's called Cooper Hawk. We are members of the restaurant, which basically just means we get like free wine and shit, and we get whatever tastings and whatnot. It's a really cool thing. We love it. And we talk about the month. We talk about the upcoming month. We just talk about us. And I'm sharing that with you, and that's very private, but I'm sharing that with you because the value that adds to our relationship and our continued support of one another is so fucking valuable. And we do that once a month. Now, we go out to dinner at least once a week. Sometimes we just stop in and get sushi, or we'll drive up the street to the Mexican restaurant. It's nothing fancy. It's us. It's what we like. It's what we do. But you need to schedule a date night. So if you're not doing that at all, you need to do it at least once a month. If you're doing it once a month, turn up the frequency a little bit and just be intentional. Something that we don't do, especially on the monthly date night, is we don't have our phones, or our phones don't come out. And I know some of you, that's so fucking difficult because every time that thing dings, rings, buzzes, and whatever, you have to fucking check it. Now, if you've got kids and you've got somebody watching the kids, I understand that you need it in case of an emergency, but it only needs to come out in that case of an emergency. Guys, I'm telling you, this will change your relationship. Now, the date night doesn't only mean you and the spouse. I think that you need to do that. But for some of you that have kids. Listen, Katie and I, between us, we have not 9 nieces and nephews. From the outside, the amount of soccer games and basketball games and flag football games and Pop Warner games and baseball games and tumbling, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't know how you guys do it. Parents, you have the participating parents, I should say, I'm going to be specific. The participating parents, you have my respect. I don't have enough time in a day. I don't know how you guys do, but I love you for it. But that is all necessary. It's all planned. It's all scheduled. It all has a reactive feel to it. You need to spend time with your kids. Take your kids to dinner. Take your kids to an arcade. Take your kids to something. Doesn't have to be fucking Disney World. You don't have to spend 15 grand at Disney World. But at least once a month, you need to have daddy-daughter night. Or daddy-son night, or mom and the kids night, like whoever you are, whoever's listening to this, you need to have time where you just spend with them, just like you would do with your spouse. You need to spend time with just them and make it a thing with them. Don't drag them to work and say that they're spending the day with you. Okay, don't make that this. If you bring them to the shop on a Saturday and they're doing their thing and you're working, like, I think that's a cool thing to be involved in growing up. I think that a lot of the kids and a lot of young people today miss out on that opportunity. But again, I'm talking about once a month for a couple hours. You need to be very specific, and you need to just take your kids on a date. Spend time with them. Be intentional. If you got multiple kids and you just want to do it one at a time, especially if they're all involved and interested in different things, and you may have to do this, a few times a month. But I think it's very important, and this is coming from someone that's not a parent, but this is something I wish I would have had, and something definitely that I would do, is you need to be specific and black out that time and spend it with them intentionally. And then lastly, I have on here, you need to spend time with friends that charge you. I'm not talking about just your Friday night garage beer buddies. I'm not talking about that kind of shit. I'm talking about spending some intentional time with the few people. And you're not going to, most of them of the time, you're not going to be able to be around all of those people at the same time. But just plan. And this is something that I need to do. I told you guys, there's stuff on this list that I've done for a long time. There's stuff on this that I've introduced recently. And there's stuff on here that I'm focusing on now. And the spouse thing, Katie and I, we work on that diligently and consistently and on purpose. But the friends thing, I've got a couple friends that I just don't see. And I fucking love them. They're chargers. They're fucking killers, man. They're monsters. I love being around them. And I don't take the time to be around them. And then when I am around them, I leave a better person. I saw one of my best friends, it's been a couple months. Say this is what I mean. And I hadn't seen him. Him and his wife had a baby since I saw him last. And the baby wasn't like a fresh new baby. Like, it was a grown baby. So too many months had passed. And so much so, when I walked in their house, their oldest came around the corner, had like this huge, like exciting, glowing grin on her face, and hugged me like I had just returned from war. And I was like, "You are the shittiest uncle. Like, where have you been? Why are you not here? Why are you not spending time with the people that you love on purpose?" That's an easy discipline to introduce. with all the bullshit that we do and all the distractions that we have and all the fucking time that we waste in our lives, we don't have time to spend it with the people that we want to be with. Fucking give me a break, man. Go be intentional with the people that make you better. Stop hanging out with people that bitch and complain all the time and drag you down. And all they want to do is drink. Fuck off. You want to hang out with me? Let's go to the gym. Let's do that. Let's smoke a cigar and talk about personal growth and business. I know that sounds corny and stupid and cheesy to a lot of people, but that's what charges me. That's what charges me. I want to know what's going on with you. I want to know what makes you tick. I want to know what makes you better. I want to know what you think makes me better. So plan those date nights, man. Implement these 12 disciplines. You can do it in a day. You can do it in 12 days. Don't give me this shit. Do one a week, and 12 weeks down the road, you're still the same fucking person. And I'm going to leave you with this. If you listen to this podcast or any podcast or read books and constantly pour information into your cup and you never take a different action, you're wasting your fucking time. You're wasting your time. And the time is the one limited commodity that you and I have in this life, because it will end. The hourglass goes empty. So stop wasting time gathering all of this information that you're not implementing. Stop listening to all that bullshit if you're not going to get better. I want you to get better and I want you to be successful. And I promise I'm rooting for you. I am on the sideline cheering for you. I want you to be fucking great. I want you to be the greatest in your lineage ever. And it just starts with implementing small disciplines into your life that will consistently elevate you. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you got something out of this. I hope I was able to add some value to you. 12 days, 12 disciplines, implement them, get it together, get shit done. Be proud to be a tradesman. See ya.